Okay, welcome to What About the Bible? Wow, there are just a few concerns that I have about the Bible that I need your help. First of all, let's start with the beginning. So, in Genesis, in the beginning, everything was dark, totally dark. I assume that the only entities in the beginning were God, Jesus, angels, and more angels. Now let's move from Genesis further into Genesis. So now we have a confrontation going on in the heavens. We have one high angel who wants to be God. We have a very evil, manipulative angel, Satan, who chooses to turn other angels against God. As a result, Satan is thrown out of heaven and falls somewhere. I do not know where Satan fell or the other angels that he took along with him to build his own throne or kingdom or whatever. So, and Satan was kicked out of heaven by another angel, higher angel, the protector, the army, Michael. So, let's move forward. Now, let's go into while the devil is here, somewhere roaming. I have no idea. Let's go into God's decision. First of all, we now know that God decided to kick the devil out of heaven and kick also the other angels who were part of his evilness. Okay, now let's go into creation. To my understanding, God decided to make a world. So he made light and he also made human beings, Adam and Eve. Now, Adam and Eve made a decision. Eve made a decision to eat something from a tree. I believe it is a fruit or some type of edible food. I'm not sure what it is. A lot of people say an apple. Now, that's another decision. So, God knowing what the devil was capable of before his creation of us human beings, allowed this thing to stay alive. But in my opinion, had you tried to hurt me and take over my throne and take my angels and just do evil and try to have the other angels to kill me, I would kill you. The end of Satan. My choice would not be to let that thing live on earth or live wherever it lives with the other angels. So now we are where? In Genesis? Now, the problem that I have, what about the Bible, is so much contradictions. For example, I cannot have a conversation with my enemies. So there's a part in the Bible where God actually does have a conversation with the beast. And it's a kind of, to me, it's an eerie conversation, a scary, spooky conversation that I feel as though should never have taken place. That's just my opinion. Now, the problem is that we as human beings, we go through so much in this world. We go through sickness, we go through financial burdens, we go through having enemies, we go through so much traumatic situations. Um, and everyone blames it on the devil. And I do too. But to me, God being who He is, my Father, the Father of everyone, knowing what the devil was capable of, I feel as though it should have been killed, not thrown to wherever you wanted to land, but just killed. So now we as human beings are left to suffer. However, we are killed each day. We're not guaranteed a tomorrow. We're not even guaranteed 1 minute or 2 seconds on it. To me, it's just like a pawn game or just like some type of game. My number is called, it's over with. Your number is called, it's over with. To me, it's kind of eerie. So let's go into more about this Bible. Let's move to Job. Now, this situation is bad. It started off pretty good because Job was a happy man. He loved God with all his heart and soul. He did not curse God. He never tried to do anything evil. He always sacrificed for God. And this conversation in Job is what is eerie to me. So there is one part in Job. God asked Satan what has he been up to. He answered, I have been walking here and there, roaming around the earth. So God asked him, did you notice my servant Job? The Lord asked. There's no one on earth as faithful and good as he is. He worships me and is careful not to do anything evil. And so what does the devil reply? Satan replied, would Job worship you if he got nothing out of it? You have always protected him and his family and everything he owns. You bless everything he does, and you have given him enough cattle to fill the whole country. But now suppose you take away everything he has. He will curse you to your face. So now this conversation I could not have with my enemy. You know what I would have told? First of all, to me, being God, the most highest entity, the owner, the maker, the creator, the omnipotent, omnipresent person that he is, I would have never had a conversation with my enemy, my arch main enemy. The conversation would have never started. But what are you doing? Satan. I could not see that happening. Because if you are my enemy, if you have tried to hurt me, you despise me, you have tried to kill me, you have turned people away from me, you have turned people against me who want to actually see me dead, or you want to kill me yourself, that conversation would have never started. However, God made that decision to have that conversation. So let's finish and see what happens. All right, God does reply. The Lord said to Satan, everything he has is in your power, but you must not hurt Job himself. So God does allow the devil to do all these bad things to Job, a faithful person. Why? I do not know. Maybe you can answer that question. I do not know. A lot of people say just to test his faith. But what faith is needed to be tested when God himself said that Job was a faithful servant who served him wholeheartedly? So now he's left with the devil. Now when the devil leaves, it goes to bother Job. Job goes through so many bad problems. He turns to his left, something is going on. He turns to his right, someone is dying. He takes a step backwards, 1, 2, 3 steps back, his children are dying. He tries to move forward, he nearly dies, he gets sick. So what about this Bible? Help me to understand, why would a God that I love and serve choose to have a conversation with something that is not good? Or why would a God that I love and serve choose to allow that one thing that is very manipulative, evil, treacherous, cunning, bother my faithful servant? because I rely on God to protect me, to help me, to heal me when I'm sick. All my prayers, all my worships go to God. But to me, after I'm trying to understand, I feel as though I'm just a number waiting to be called. And I feel as though what is left to do but die. So I just wanted to know, what about this Bible? Why was there even a conversation started between God and the devil? Why did God choose to have that conversation? There's no need to test Job's faith because he already realized and knew that Job was his most faithful servant on earth. Job loved and honored him, worshiped him from left to right, top to bottom, front and back. There was nothing wrong with what Job was doing but living his life that God gave him. But then something went terribly wrong. It's like the devil. But the devil wasn't bothering God. God saw the devil. And had I seen my enemy, that conversation would have never started, because most of the time when you see your enemy, you're ready to what? Hurt. You're ready to fight. But this conversation was really weird to me. That's all. I needed to understand, what about this Bible? Why God chose to have this conversation with the devil? And why was Job going through so much? Like a lot of us, we go through so much. Was it because God talked to the devil and allowed that to happen? I have no idea. It's not always a test of faith. The faith is there. It's God's decision. And I sometimes don't understand it. I'm not an entity, but I'm hoping that someone can answer that question for me. Anyways, thank you for listening to What About the Bible? Have a safe and happy new year. Bye.